Welcome to Rovinj, one of the most romantic towns along the entire Croatian coast. Colorful houses, narrow alleys, sea views, and a rich historical atmosphere attract thousands of visitors every year. It's late May, or as some say, the month of blossoms. And if you're planning to visit this or any of the nearby towns, now is truly one of the best times to go. Why, you ask? It's the 29th of May, 2025. The time is around 8 in the morning and the town is almost empty. The cafes that are open are filled mostly with locals, and you can enjoy the city in a completely different way than during the peak summer crowds or the cold winter months. Personally, this is my 5th visit to Rovinj, but the first time coming before the official start of the summer season. And I have to say, this timing, when it's already warm enough for a t-shirt and the thermometer shows over 20 degrees, is definitely the right choice. Let's talk a bit about the history. The town was originally founded as an Illyrian settlement, but it truly began to flourish during the Roman era. As early as the 2nd century BC, a Roman settlement called Arupinium was established here. Until the 18th century, Rovinj was actually an island. It wasn't until the year 1763 that it was connected to the mainland by filling in a narrow sea channel. In the 13th century, Rovinj came under the rule of the Venetian Republic, and its influence is still clearly visible today, whether in the architecture, the language, or the cuisine. After the fall of Venice, Rovinj became part of the Habsburg monarchy, and later of Italy. Today, the town is part of Croatia, and Italian remains the 2nd official language. The most prominent landmark of the entire town is the Basilica of Saint Euphemia, whose slender bell tower, topped with a copper statue of the saint, rises above the historic center. The church we see today was built in the first half of the 18th century, more precisely between the years 1725 and 1726, on the site of earlier sanctuaries. Inside the basilica lies the sarcophagus of Saint Euphemia, the patron saint of Rovinj. But who was this woman really? Saint Euphemia was a young Christian from the city of Chalcedon, in what is now modern-day Turkey. During the persecution of Christians under Emperor Diocletian in the early 4th century, She was imprisoned, tortured, and eventually brutally executed, all at the age of 15. According to legend, she was thrown to the lions, but the animals did not tear her apart. One of them is said to have gently bitten her neck, causing her death without pain. Euphemia thus became a symbol of innocence, faith, and female courage. Her remains were buried in Chalcedon and later transferred to Constantinople, where they were placed in a grand basilica built in her honor. In the 8th century, however, the Byzantine Empire faced a religious conflict known as iconoclasm. Emperor Leo III banned the veneration of icons and relics. Fearing desecration, the monks secretly hid Euphemia's relics in a stone sarcophagus and cast it out to sea. And this is where the Croatian part of the legend begins. The unmanned sarcophagus drifted across the sea for days and nights until, one morning, supposedly on the 2nd of July, it reached the shores of Rovinj. Locals tried to pull the heavy stone sarcophagus out of the water, but it was in vain. No one could move it. Until one day, a young boy arrived at the site with 2 oxen. He prayed to the saint and, with the help of his animals, effortlessly hauled the sarcophagus up the hill above the town. This moment was seen as a miracle, and it was precisely on this hill that the new basilica was built, where the relics of Saint Euphemia remain to this day. Her story has become an inseparable part of Rovinj's identity, and Saint Euphemia is still considered the town's main patron. Her statue on the basilica's tower points toward the sea, and locals say that whenever it turns, it's a sign of an approaching change in the weather. We don't usually give tips on accommodation or restaurants in our videos, but today we're making an exception. Why? Because this is the 5th time we visited Rovinj and the 5th time we've dined at Taverna de Baston. You'll find it right next to the local market. And here's the best part. If you pick a fresh fish at the market, the tavern will happily grill it for you and serve it on site or pack it to go. The entire place is styled to reflect the era when Rovinj was part of Italy. On the walls, you'll find vintage photographs, old-school certificates, and other memories of a bygone time. Taverna de Baston offers not only delicious food, but also a charming, authentic atmosphere. So, are you planning to visit Rovinj this year? Or have you already been there? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to tell us if you enjoyed the video.